Ross, thanks for joining us and congratulations. A perfect start to the league campaign.
Yeah, from a results perspective, I think you're probably right, Dave. You always want to get out the traps, get off to a good start in the season, and we've done that in terms of coming away from a tough place with 3 points. So I'm delighted on that front. A bit disappointed in the way that we performed, but I suppose if you're not going to play well, don't lose. And that was one of our messages at half time. If we can't find our rhythm, let's find a way of battling our way through the game, and to nick it is obviously an even better feeling.
And it was a good free kick from Joby McAnuff for that winner.
Yeah, we've talked a little bit recently about some of the things that we do and don't do from our deeper free kicks. I don't suppose you'd really class that as a threatening position, if you like, but we've tried to make them a little bit more like that when we're hitting balls from deep. So you can't be too creative, but some of the movements that you make, and there's always going to be mistakes or balls are going to drop, and when you've got a striker like that and in Danny Johnson in the form that he's in, there's every chance we're going to score.
Because just before lockdown he was finding the back of the net, and he started the new season, scored last week, and this one was a cheeky finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a Danny Johnson type finish, if you like. His recent ones have all been delightful, haven't they? But that one was one of the ones that I know that is sort of Danny's bread and butter, and I think as a striker they're the ones that you want to be putting away. The nice finishes, the classy finishes, they top your goals up, but they're the ones that get you get you the good quality numbers and win your games of football. And I think that was certainly something that we've always had in our mind with what we've got with Danny. Alongside his work rate, he creates chances for himself as well sometimes.
Because in terms of that work rate, he reminds me of Macaulay Bonne. He just never gives up, does he?
No, and I think that's we saw when we had Macca that he creates opportunities for himself, makes defenders. If I'm a centre half, I'd be worrying about where he was, the type of movement he'd be making, the fact that when it drops, he's going to be trying to get on the end of it, get his body in the way, and he keeps the game alive for us sometimes at the top end of the pitch when we haven't got total control on the game. So he's been a real asset for us at the start of the season.
But it was a victory that came at a price. What's the extent of the injury for Dan Happy?
I was disappointed in the decision, to be honest, because although Dan got booked on the halfway line for probably what was deserved a yellow card, he got his legs swiped away for no apparent reason in the corner and ends up coming off with what I believe is a dead leg. So if it is the case, then probably a little bit more relief than it being a pull or a strain. So disappointed in that decision because Dan's running, he can't see what's going on behind him, and the guy swipes his legs away, which I thought was poor, really.
Conor Wilkinson didn't look very well.
No, and he was quiet at times today. I think we got him in the game early in the first half, and then we didn't find him the ball as much as we would like. So it was a tactical reason that we brought him off. But as you just alluded to me there before the interview started, that he didn't look well. And when I tried to shake his hand once the way he made his way around the pitch, he told me he'd been sick. So fingers crossed it's nothing more serious than just a bug.
It was so important that Leighton maintained their discipline at the back. Not easy, especially when Danny Rowe comes on as a second half substitute. Of
course, we always know with our history and our background with Danny that he's going to be the threat that he is. And as soon as we knew that substitution was coming on, we knew that he was going to get his shots away, and he likes to chop you and create space for himself. So it's something that we warned the lads about. But you're right, it's about the discipline. And I suppose if you're looking at the real positives from it, is that we come away from a game, a performance that we're not pleased with, but we've come away with it with 3 points. And I think if you can add that side to the game, which I think, if I'm brutally honest, Dave, in the 3 games since the start of the season properly, I'm not sure if we've really played well yet. We've had little moments, little spells, but we've won 3 games. So I think it's a sign of a strength if you can add that, and that's certainly something we've discussed, certainly something we've worked on. And I'm pleased and delighted today that we will obviously win, but at the same time we keep a clean sheet as well.
I know colleagues in the press box from an Oldham perspective felt that their side should have had a penalty in the first half and would have had a penalty if the crowd had been here. Have they got a point?
I don't. I've watched it back at half time, and I thought the pair of them headed it almost at the same time. It was one of those decisions actually where it's either a foul on their player or a foul on our player, and it ended up being a throw on to them. So for me it was a coming together. I think it was a bit of a mix-up, a little bit of a delay in terms of whether we were going to go and deal with it defensively or if Lawrence was going to have to come off his line. Personally didn't think it was a penalty enough, and I would tell you if I did.
I suppose the point they're making really is about the crowd and not having that.
I didn't answer your question properly. I think there's moments here where I think that's influenced. I mean, I've gone to see the ref at the end there because Craig Clay nearly gets kicked in the head. Game goes on. We're obviously desperate and wanting to see out the time. The ball drops in the middle of the pitch and exactly the same tackle happens and they get a free kick from it. So I certainly think the crowd would have influenced that. And those are the big moments that we're all getting used to. It still feels weird. It still doesn't feel right. I'm devastated that I haven't been able to go and punch the air and celebrate with the Orient away fans today, because it would have been a nice one to do. You know, we come here last year, didn't play well, got a hard-earned point. We've come here today, haven't played well again, and we walk away with 3. So disappointed from our perspective. Forget about all the decisions, but I'd love to be jumping around celebrating with them at the moment.
And the Orient faithful would love to be there on Tuesday night, especially after this winning start. Plymouth Argyle, the prize is a huge one with Tottenham Hotspur. How difficult is it to make sure that the players are focusing on Argyle?
Well, I don't think it's that difficult, because I think that it gives people that haven't played today an opportunity to play again. And I think for me, we are really want to go into and win that game of football. It's not going to be one of those that we change it for the sake of changing it, but I think we will make adjustments to the team to give good players the opportunity to play their way into it. I think we know Plymouth are a good team. We experienced it twice last year. We know they're going to be really tough nut to crack. So I think with them being the strength that they are, it focuses everybody on that, knowing that there's a prize at the end of it. So it's a fantastic motivation for all of us. But we have a massive hurdle, a very, very good team to get over on Tuesday night before we even worry about what comes next.
Rotating the squad, is that the reason why Joby was on the bench?
Yeah, I think we've got to be sensible with Jobs, to be honest. We know that what he gives us, we know the qualities that he's got, but I also know the qualities that James Dayton, Josh Wright and obviously Craig Clay started today. But we've got some really good players in that position that give us a different threat, different qualities, but can all help us win games of football. So it's how we manage that. It's important with a big game coming up Tuesday that we had Jobs with fresh legs to potentially play on Tuesday, and at the same time for me, James Dayton was one of our best performers during pre-season, so he deserved his place in the team today despite us winning a couple of games before it.
It was a physical game, and in the late on I was really impressed by the way in which the late night players were putting their bodies on the line. I
said that to him there at the end. I've said, listen, I'm not happy with the way that we've played. I don't think you would be as players, I think there's more to come from us. But we haven't lost, we've won. So it's a quality that we have to build, and if we want to be better than last year, I think that's something that we really, really missed. I missed it as a manager last year, didn't do enough work to make us maybe more robust and harder to play against. And I think in the last 3 games, that's probably the biggest thing that I've been most pleased with, that people are committed to a clean sheet today, but winning games of football.
In many ways, it wasn't an ideal pre-season for Will Soturio, but he looked a lot sharper today. Yeah,
we're in a very similar position with Ruel that we was when we got Cisse on loan last year. Cisse hadn't played much football, and Ruel's pre-season has been disrupted. Obviously, we all know why at the beginning, but he's settled down a lot, but suffered with some issues with his hamstrings. So we don't want to expose him. We know when he comes on, he chases things down, he makes it difficult for opposition. Very similar to what we've talked about with Danny. So we want him and we want to make the most of him, but at the same time, we can't commit to it too soon because we don't want to lose him. So delighted to see him back out on the pitch today, and he contributes to us getting us over the line.
Any other knocks?
And Dan's and obviously our sick Connor is. I don't know if we're going to wrap him up and stick him in the toilet on the coach on the way home, because I don't know where else we put him. But outside of that, nothing else has been reported, but hopefully I'll find out afterwards if there's anything more than that.